Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
About 15 years ago, I completely recoded this e-commerce website from scratch for better search engine optimization. And after it went live, we experienced this massive increase in traffic and a subsequent increase in sales. So after a couple of months of growth, I took my work and all the results to the boss and said that I deserved a raise. And he said, and I quote, "I agree, but if I give you a raise, you'll make more than the boys, and boys have to make more than girls. And your coworker just had testicle surgery, and this would just be another blow to his masculinity. But I'll tell you what, if you can go back and get the boys to work harder, then I'll be able to justify giving them more money, and then I can give you more money too." And when I told people about it, they said, "That's really nice of your boss to consider your coworkers' feelings like that."
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
Most blatantly sexist? I've got this one. I once met this guy who was an American political science student, which says it all really, who tried to tell me that women would never be happy unless they were mothers. And I was like, oh, is that what it is? Because I thought it was the chemical imbalance in my brain. Who'd have thought it? And then he went on to say that women's brains are wired differently, so we would never be successful, and they shouldn't be in the workplace because they were simply a distraction to men. Now I was like, that sounds like a you problem, And this all stemmed from me making a comment about how women wear deodorant not for men, but for themselves. Radical, I know. And then in typical incel fashion, he asked for my number. Like I was going to be like, finally, forget the modern woman. Now this is the type of man I want.
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
I've been waiting for this one. So I've been working at Cold Stone for 5 years now. This story takes place a few years ago, but I'd still been working at this Cold Stone for years. I'm a shift leader, which means I know what I'm doing, and I was training a new person. We had a decently long line, and the new person had an order for a quart of ice cream, which is quite a bit of ice cream. I don't think he had ever made one before, so I explained to him how to measure it out and how to make sure you have the right amount of ice cream, how to mix it, how to do everything, and he did it perfectly fine. But I guess this customer just did not like the way that he was doing it or something. There was some ice cream dripping on the side of the container, so I told him wipe it off with a paper towel. He goes to the back for literally half a second, I'm not even kidding you, half a second to get a paper towel from the back, and this man screams, "I don't want the ice cream anymore, you brought it to the back, I don't know what you're doing with it back there." So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll make the ice cream if it's such an issue for him to make it for you.
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
I used to work in advertising, and we had a plastic surgeon as a client, and we all sat in this meeting, and I was the only person with a vagina in the room. And basically the ad was this manatee was swimming around in a pool, and when it got out of the water, it was a beautiful woman, like a thin woman. And then on the screen, it flashed blank plastic surgery. That's the plastic surgeon. And they were implying that the woman was a manatee before she got plastic surgery. And I started to cry because I was bigger than the woman who got out of the water. And everyone turned to me and they said, "But it made you feel like shit. So like it worked, right?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I can't afford plastic surgery now. That just makes me feel like shit." And they were like, "But it doesn't matter. It did its job. Now people who can't afford plastic surgery will see this and want to get plastic surgery." And I said it was a bad idea, and they said I didn't know what I was talking about.
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
So this is not my story, it's actually my husband's. I know, plot twist. So my husband's name is Robin, and he goes by Robin, not Rob or Robert. And back when we were first starting dating, he was just trying to find a new job, a new entry-level job, and he was having such a hard time getting just even an interview, and he was so confused. It went on for months. So I took a look at his resume one day, and as a woman, I instantly saw the problem. Because not only does he go by Robin and put that on his resume, he also played volleyball for 4 years in high school and put that on his resume too. So I told him, I was like, "Dude, you're not getting callbacks because everyone thinks you're a girl." And sweet baby angel who's never had to deal with sexism before did not believe me that people could be that awful, but he humbled me and he let me change his resume. So I shortened his name to Rob, and I swapped out the volleyball for wrestling, even though he only did that for a year. And yes, you guessed it, within a week, he found a new job. Moral of the story, if you can shorten your name, it helps, and it's stupid that we have to do.
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
My sophomore year, I was taking a really hard, high-level coding class with 3 other girls, and the rest were asshole guys. And my teacher was the biggest douchebag I had ever met, and he was always making super sexist comments like, ladies, whenever you grow up to be wives, and men, whenever you grow up to be CEOs, or ladies, you'll be such great assistants and secretaries. But one day he started saying that when girls smile, they're asking for it. And I said, asking for what? He said, for you to flirt. And I said, no, we're not. We're trying to be friendly. He said, you're not a guy. You don't know. I said, I'm the one doing the smiling. I think I would know. And then it escalated, and I said, so you think it's okay for men to think that they have a right to have sex with us just because we smile? And then he yelled at me because I was being out of hand and I was being ridiculous. Anyway, I had recorded the whole conversation, and I showed it to my principal, and he had to apologize to me and my mom for being an asshole.
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
Well, it was a mixture of both sexist and racist. Y'all motherfuckers get a double whammy. I didn't feel like putting a shirt on. Don't flag me for this. I'm just telling a story here. Anyway, so I was visiting my best friend at her bar, right? I wasn't with anybody. So I made conversations with this guy that was sitting next to me, right? He was a war vet, really big into Harleys. And this guy comes to the bar, drunk as fuck, kept telling me that I was pretty, trying to kiss me, and like the way I dress normally. I'm just like, dude, I'm gay. My outfit screams it. So then his friend comes up, and he was just a fucking douchebag. He wanted to leave, so he was trying to grab his friend. They were about to head out the door, but before they did, the guy turns to the old guy that I was talking to and was like, hey, is this your mail order bride? Called me a chink, laughed, and then left. And at this point, I was just in shock, pissed. White men, am I right?
Ladies, what's the most blatantly sexist thing a man has said to you?
When I was like 22, 23, I got hired at this consulting firm in Manhattan. I was really excited about it. And that did not last very long. I had a boss who was frankly the stupidest man I've ever met in my entire life. And I was the only person on this business development team. So I would get in these meetings, and I was really becoming friendly with these like CEOs and VPs, and they didn't like him because he said stupid shit like my driver's around the corner, but it was Uber. Like, he was an idiot and fake and phony. And one day, after a meeting, we were in a car, and he's like, it's obvious why you're doing so well. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, because you're flirting with these male CEOs and VPs because of your situation. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're a Latina, not that educated, from a single parent home.
Take away the things we share. Hope you don't mind how I need you like the air. Let me see your hands in the air. Together let's move like we just don't care. Nobody can take away the things we share. Hope you don't mind how I need you like the air. The way I love you, they don't understand. And it's crazy how you're my best friend. You're always in my mind. Let's dance to the rhythm of your heartbeat. The way I love you, they don't understand. And it's crazy how you're my best friend. You're always in my mind. Let's dance to the rhythm of your heartbeat. Dance with me, 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 dance with me. Oh my love, can you dance with me?